Good afternoon. This is the Dean of All Things Spicy from Conjure Draper's Peppers, and I'm going to do a little tutorial on how I pot up pepper seedlings. So give me just a couple seconds. I'm going to make sure that I have the link. If anybody wants to join me, they're free to. I'm going to post the link in the chat on my laptop, and if somebody wants to come on and chat, somebody wants to come on and eat a pepper, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. Excuse me just a second. All right, so I have some evil avocado seedlings, and I have some MA warthog seedlings. So the way that I sow seeds is a little different than most people. I do what I call mass sowing. So I'll sow anywhere from 10 to 20 seeds in every container. You can't see me, Paul? Or sorry, not Paul. Sam, you can't see me? My video should be on. You can see me now? Can you see me? Hey, Mark, how's it going? All right, cool. All right, so the way that I sow seedlings is a little different than most people. I do what I call mass sowing. So I sow anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 30, sometimes 50 or 100 seeds in every container. And, you know, a lot of people, when they pot up their seedlings, they wait until they have 2 or 3 sets of true leaves. I don't. I always pot up my seedlings at this stage. Pepper seedlings are one of the most hardy seedling plants on the planet. They will withstand tons and tons and tons of abuse. But so excuse the mess. This is my my seedling area. This is where I start all my seeds. This is where I grow about 1,000 seedlings every summer or every spring. So it's dirty. It's not a studio. It's not a nice setup. So please forgive the mess. Dizzy, how's it going? So I'm going to pot up some seedlings today. I've got some evil avocados and some warthogs. So if anybody's interested in seeing how I do this, so I always use the solo cup. I really enjoy the way that it works with the solo cups. I actually use the Costco brand, not the solo brand, because you can get like 340 for about $7 or $8. But anyway, so I also use the double cup method for watering because I always water from the bottom after the initial watering. So what I do to start that off is I take my solo cup and I cut right here at the edge with a pair of scissors. And I do that in 4 locations around the bottom of the cup. My floor is absolutely covered in tiny little red worms. You can see you have a nice slit there. You have a nice slit there. You have a nice slit there. And you have a nice slit there. You do not want to put your holes right here because of this indentation. Sometimes it will not drain properly, and other times it will uptake the water from the bottom of the cup. So anyway, I'm going to put some soil in this. I'm going to cut a few more, put some soil in a few of them. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? Yes, I have red spikes everywhere all over my floor. That is so accurate. Because I do not sweep down here very often. I actually just cleaned off this table for you guys so that it wasn't horribly covered in soil. It probably will be by the time I'm done, and that's fine. I don't clean down here. This is my private area. Really, I'm the only one that comes down here. I'm doing good, Sam. You? I did post the link in the chat if anybody decides they want to come on and just chat or eat a pepper or, you know, show what your face looks like, whatever. So my seed starting soil, at least at this time of the year for my indoor plants, is ProMix BX. I love ProMix BX. Plus, I can get a 3 cubic yard bag for a highly reasonable price, right around $50 to $60. I think it might be 65-ish now. I haven't looked since spring. But anyway, when spring comes, what I do is I get a product out of Pittsburgh called pit moss. I'm trying to decrease my peat moss usage because it's a non-renewable resource. So what I do is I take half ProMix BX and half pit moss, and I mix that together. And then, so pit moss is a product that's recycled and composted paper product. So what that does is it allows it to. Sorry, my heater just kicked on, so it might be loud in here, but I do have a microphone on, so hopefully you can still hear me. What that allows it to do with both the ProMix BX and the pit moss is that it allows the pit moss, specifically the composted paper product, allows the soil to retain water much more effectively than any kind of soil starter, seed starter, potting mix, anything like that. Yeah, so I mean, peat moss has traditionally, over the years, as you probably already know, has been one of the most used seed starting products out there. Again, it's non-renewable, so I'm trying to decrease my usage. I can't get rid of it completely because I've tried growing in just pit moss, but it doesn't work as well because it retains so much water. So I do like the ProMix BX because of all the perlite that it has in it. So excuse me for a second. You guys are going to see my rear while I go fill these cups with some soil. But anyway, when I do this, I use dry soil. And I don't fill them up very much. You can see it's about half, a little under half full. Because in this first stage, when I pot them up, I like to plant them quite deeply, all the way up to the cotyledons. Because even though they're not visible, peppers do have adventitious roots. And if you don't know what adventitious roots are, if you ever grow tomatoes, it's the little hair-like things on the stem of a tomato plant. Just pepper plants' adventitious roots are much, much smaller, so they're harder to see. And it does take quite a bit longer for the roots to grow from the stem on a pepper plant than it does for a tomato plant. So, pepper plants being a 4 to 6 month plant. Hold on, somebody's looking like they want to come in to say hi.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Oh, I'm all right. How about you?
Good. So anyway, pepper plants will grow roots from the stem, but they take a lot longer to grow the roots. So what I do is, again, I only fill my cups about halfway with soil when I do this very first potting up. And then the next time when I pot up from here, I'm going, prior to that, sorry, as the plant grows, I will add soil in around the stem. And then by the time it's ready to pot up from here into a bigger container, it will actually have grown roots out from the stem. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your soil is somewhat dry. You can't have super wet soil because then it's going to be really difficult to get the plants out of the container. And it's also a challenge when your plants are this small. So what I do to get the soil out of the cup, so what I do is I just destroy the cup by cutting it down to the soil line. So what have you been up to today, Sam?
I was playing Call of Duty, and then I started watching the Colts game, and I saw you went live. I appreciate you showing us how to do this because you were telling me about it. But I think the way that I was messing up while doing this was I would just sow them in and sow it in to the soil line. I didn't go up to where, like you were saying, the bottom of the leaves, basically. You know what I mean?
So it depends on how long of a plant you have. If you're doing annuals, they really don't live long enough, or there's not enough time between the time you sow them and the time they're fruiting for it to truly grow roots from the stem. But when you're growing an indoor grow, right, you don't have to worry about that time. And if you're growing chinenses, they take so long to get to fruiting stage that it gives them time for the adventitious roots to actually be effective. Yeah. But anyway, so all I do is I take a chopstick. When they're at this tiny little stage, again, show you how big they are. And these are the warthogs. They don't have much of a root system. So all I do, I'm going to show you close up. I'll put my chopstick down near the plant, and I'll go down and I'll gently loosen the soil with the chopstick. Hey, Mike, how's it going? And then I'll grab with the cotyledon with my finger, and I'll gently lift the cotyledon out. But you'll see it. It's just farther away.
Okay.
How's your day going, Mike? So all I'm doing right now is I'm putting the chopstick down on the soil, and I'm gently loosening the soil around the plant. And at the same time, I have a hold of one of the cotyledons, and it comes out quite nicely.
Okay.
And then all you do is use your finger or the chopstick, create a hole. You can lay these seedlings down. It won't hurt them. Create a hole in your soil all the way down to the bottom of the plant of the container. Kind of push the walls back so that the hole stays open. Again, pick up your seedling with your cotyledon, set it down inside the soil, and push the soil up around the cotyledon. And so as you can see, that plant is directly up to the cotyledon. The soil is all the way up to the cotyledons.
Yeah.
And then you just repeat the process. So this is a good space-saving way of growing a lot of plants with only a few containers, right? So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 cups here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 21 seedlings in 4 cups.
Okay.
So it's a great space-saving way of just using a few containers. Did I see Arwa pop in? Hi, Arwa. How are you?
Hey, Arwa. How are you today?
How's the weather out in the UK, Arwa? So with this one, I prefer to use my finger than a chopstick to loosen my soil. Some people don't like to get their fingers dirty, but I've been a gardener for quite a few years, and it's easy for me. I constantly have soil under my fingertips, under my fingernails. But anyway, same idea. I grab the cotyledon with two fingers. I put my chopstick down inside the soil, close to the stem, and just gently loosen up the soil. And the cotyledon pops right out. Or, sorry, the plant pops right out. You can see it has a tiny little root system. And you just set it in the next container. Again, cotyledons all the way down to the soil, and then push the soil up around the plant. And hypothetically, if you do drop your seedling, it's not going to hurt them in any way, shape, or form. Pepper plants are one of the most resilient plants, and they take a ton of abuse. So you can see I've taken two out of there already. Super simple, super quick. There's actually a faster way to do this. So if you actually sow, like if I mass sow in a 72 cell seed tray, I'll plant about 10 to 12. This is for spring growth. I'll plant about 10 to 12 seeds in every single seed cell. So instead of 72, I have 700 plus seedlings in a 72 cell seed tray. Then you only need one germination mat for a large grow. So again, just grab onto the cotyledon with two fingers, put your chopstick down in the soil, gently loosen up the soil around the stem, and it pops right out. Tiny little root system, but that's all it needs at this stage of life. Still by the cotyledon, set it down all the way down to the soil so that the cotyledons are barely sticking out of the soil. And push the soil up around. And as you can see, it's right up to the cotyledons. I'm reading what Mike said. I'll have to try potting up your way. I've killed many plants transplanting just by grabbing the stem. Yeah, so hey Clayton, how's it going? So yeah, Mike, you don't want to grab the stem. Pepper plant stems at this stage of life are extremely delicate, and our fingers tend to be a lot more forceful than we think they are. So I actually work with eggs for a living. So I've learned to be and I was in the medical field prior. So I've learned to be very, very gentle with the way that I use my fingers and my hands. But at the same time, when you're in a hurry and you're trying to do a bunch all at once, you never, ever, ever want to touch the stem. You only want to grab by the cotyledons. And then if you're actually waiting until you have 2 or 3 sets of true leaves, which I never, ever, ever do, you want to grab by the first set of true leaves. That way, if one breaks off, it's not a big deal. You have true leaves above it. But if one of the cotyledons breaks off, it's fine. One cotyledon is all a pepper plant actually needs to survive. It'll struggle a little bit if one of the cotyledons comes off, but it will still grow all the way through to fruition. But anyway, what was I going to say? There was something else that I thought was important for you guys to know. I forget. I tried potting up, or I'll have to try potting up your way. I've killed many plants transplanting by grabbing the stem. Yeah, I'm not sure what I meant to say. Dizzy, welcome. So it's a long process when you have a lot, but again, you just kind of put your finger down in the soil, create a hole that's deep enough for the stem all the way up to the cotyledons. Or use your chopstick if you don't like getting dirty. Grab a cotyledon, use your chopstick, gently go down beside the plant. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. If you're sowing the way that I do with this mass planting, with this mass sowing, Mike, you don't want it to go to 2 or 3 sets of true leaves, because by then you're going to have roots tangling around each other, and then you're going to have to separate the roots. It still works. It's just a lot more work because you're actually having to break up the roots and really loosen it up, and sometimes use one of these to spray the water around the roots to loosen up the soil around the roots. Whereas when you do it at this stage, there's no roots to tangle around another plant. It's so easy. It works so well. And the plants are completely forgiving at this stage. But again, you never, ever, ever want to grab them by the stem. I have damaged quite a few plants. And you can see those 4 seedlings are now potted up.
Yeah, Dizzy, your mic isn't working. I think it's muted.
My mic or
No,
Dizzy's?
Dizzy's. He commented on the thing and said he doesn't know if his mic's working. I think it said it was muted earlier. You might try refreshing the page. I had to do that.
Oh, I should have brought my e-cig down here with me.
Oh yeah, I have this. This is always in my pocket or something. It's been leaking though. I don't know why.
Sorry. So that is 4 now. That is now 4 warthog seedlings, and then I have this 5th one. So this was actually the only one that germinated in this cup. So it's perfect. I don't have to pot this one up. But for anybody who might not understand the double cup method, again, you can see at the bottom of the cup, I have the little tiny slits. I have, like I said previously, 4 slits around the edges of the cup. And all you do is you put something down on the bottom of the cup. So I use an old hot sauce lid, but you can use a marble. You can use a large screw. I wouldn't really recommend the screw idea because then you're putting heavy metal into your soil. But I find that an old hot sauce cap works beautifully because what that does is it raises the level of where your first cup sets in the second cup. You can see there's a big gap between the 2 cups. Whereas if you don't do the double cup method, or if you don't put something in the bottom, you can see there's absolutely no gap right here between the 2 cups. So then what happens is when the cup sits in the other cup, there's no air gap down here. And pepper plants need oxygen. Their roots need oxygen. So what you want to do is take, and like I said, it can literally be anything. But all I use is just an old hot sauce cap container cap. And I drop that in the outside cup that does not have slits.
One thing I use whenever I do that, because I've used the double cup method before, is like pea gravel, or if you have like some small stones or something,
Yeah, pea gravel works for this process, but it is actually an old myth that if you put pea gravel below your soil, that the soil will drain faster. Many people will always say that you should always put gravel or something down below your soil to make it drain faster. But what actually happens when you do that is when water goes from one substrate to another substrate that's a different consistency, it actually causes a pooling of water at that line between the 2 substrates. And you can actually test this for yourself. And I don't know if this is what you were meaning, but you can test this for yourself by getting a white plastic cup like this one. Fill it about that far with some type of gravel or pellets or whatever, and then fill it the rest of the way with soil. Pour your water in the top, and then watch how the water will pool right around the spot where the two substrates combine. But if you're using it for the double cupping method, it actually works, because all it's doing is it's raising the level of the water, so that when you set the cup in there, when the water level, like here, you can see my cap is floating, right? So that means that when I set the second cup in there, it's going to soak up the water from the bottom. But then what happens is, as soon as the plant soaks up that water and the water is in the soil, now there's no water in the bottom of that cup. All there is the cap. So then when it sits in there, it now has an oxygen space in between the two cups, so that the roots are actually getting oxygen. Oxygen will go down between the two cups, and it'll actually feed oxygen to the roots. So that's why I love the double cupping method.
Yeah, I just put them in the bottom cup. The cup without the slits, I put the pebbles in there.
So again, it works if you're using them in the bottom cup, but never, ever, ever put them beneath your soil. It does not work. It actually creates a swampy soil, and pepper plants hate swampy soil. So anyway, that's it. That's all you do.
Awesome.
So I have another hot sauce cap down in there. Put some water in there. Take one of my seedlings that I just potted up, set it down in there. And then the very, very initial watering, I'll use a squeeze container to settle in the pepper plant. I'll try to do it where you guys can see. So I try to do it where I'm not actually pouring any water on the plant, because I don't want to create any kind of mold growth. But you still want to settle the soil in around the root of the plant. So this will be the only time during this plant's entire life that I'll top water. I will never top water again for the rest of the plant's life. So now the soil is settled down around the plant. There's water in the bottom, so it's now going to uptake water from the bottom of the cup. And as soon as the soil absorbs that water, there will be oxygen down here to feed the roots.
Dizzy said, have we tried the wick method? It soaks water through a wick. I've never heard of that.
So I do like the wicking method if you're using larger containers, right? So if you're going to grow in like a 3-gallon or a 5-gallon pot, the wicking method works really well, especially if you're going on vacation. So what you do then is you go out and you buy some of that like blue felt cloth, or something that will wick very well. Just go to a craft store, buy some black or blue felt cloth. And what you do is you take the bottom of the container, you put something in the bottom of the container like a hot sauce lid or a marble, and then above that you put the square or circle, depending on the shape of your container, on top of that, and then you set your soil on top of that, and then when you put the water down the bottom, and what I use is a straw to put the water in through that container, because I don't want to top water ever. So I put a straw all the way down to the bottom of the soil where that space is, and I'll water through the straw, and then it'll wick through that black or blue felt, and it'll bring the water up over time, which is great if you're going on vacation.
Okay.
But usually I don't use the wicking method. You got a month or to go until you start 2025 spirituality through capsaicin. Yeah, I haven't. This is not my 2025 grow. This is my indoor grow.
Dizzy's back.
Welcome back, Dizzy.
Hello,
Sorry if I
hello.
didn't see
Does
you.
it sound now?
We can hear you now, brother.
Okay. Yeah. There's always someone that has to log in and the microphone doesn't work in like meetings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's the curse
Let me
of
turn on
technology.
my laptop so I can hear better.
Yeah, I remember the first time I had to move the seedlings and I crushed. I think it was a 7 pot. I don't remember,
Yeah, I
but
remember
I
the first
literally
time I
grabbed
had
it
to
by the trunk.
move the seedlings and it worked. I think it was 7 foot, I don't remember. Yeah, I literally grabbed it by the trunk of the seedlings and it worked. I think it was 7 foot.
Wow, it's so weird to hear your own voice like that. Do I sound that like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it did that for
That's
me
funny.
earlier too.
Yeah.
I was thinking since you're doing this, uh, I was thinking about trying to do this as well. I have some seedlings I moved over. Um, they were the warthogs, and then some of the bleeding jigsaws that you sent me. I sowed some of
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Did they pop up already?
Oh yeah, bro. Look, but the problem is I have 3 of them in one cup.
Aha. See? Now you just use my way of doing it and you can get them out very easily.
Oh
Instead
yeah,
of, most people snip off their extra seedlings. That's
yeah,
a waste.
yeah.
It's so easy to just plant a whole crap ton all in one container and just
Yeah.
do what I did here.
So my question, I guess, would be this, Dean. I have this pot here. This is 2 beast plants
Right,
growing
Beast?
out of one pot.
right. And you
What would
want to separate them?
what would you do to separate? But here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
Can you see how close they are?
Yeah. So the
No.
easiest way to do that, and I won't be able to show you this really until spring or at least until later, when my plants get bigger, because obviously my plants are big enough to have a massive root system. Is
Uh,
you go outside on a day that's above 32 degrees and
uh,
you hook up your watering hose and make sure you have a nozzle on there that can do a spray function,
Spray it
and you
down.
just take it
Yeah.
out of the pot and you literally just spray the roots. Lays the both plants and the root ball sideways on the ground, and you literally just spray the soil off of the roots, and then you can
And then you pull
gently
them
tease
apart.
the roots
Yeah.
away from each other, and then
okay.
you have 2 plants with 2 root systems to put into 2 pots.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
I just can't show you that right now because I don't have any plants big enough that are alive to show you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that because, yeah, I was wondering. I have a couple of them where, like, I actually have another beast over there that's the same. And then I have on my NK Sinister Red, I have 2 of those in one pot. Let me grab that real quick. I'll show you.
You have the NK ones, the Hellhammer and all of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
yeah, I have the NK Sinister Red and the NK Hellhammer, and I actually have one that I don't think Nick sent to anybody. I don't know
Mm.
if he sent to anybody else, but I know that I was the first person he sent it to. It's his Juggernaut, and that's
Mm.
a red.
What is it across of?
I
Because
believe
he
he
fell
said it
or
was a Hellhammer back crossed with Apocalypse Scorpion.
Primo.
I may
Oh,
be,
the Apocalypse side.
yeah. It was a beautiful pepper though, and it was like really delicious. It had
Yeah.
really good flavor and it was hot.
The Apocalypse looks super pretty. It has a like huge stinger on the bottom most of the times.
And I'm growing the Apocalypse Scorpion too. But look, this one I actually started with a different. So a lot of the time I'll do like what Dean was saying and start them in a double cup,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll use a seed starting tray. But with this one, I just took this pot here and I filled it with soil, and then I put 4 little pockets where I wanted to start seeds in each one with seed starting mix, like 50-50 with vermiculite. And then I put seeds in each one of those 4 cells. And I started 2 plants from that. And I did a little bit of bottom trimming and stuff on these to keep the like energy up onto the top.
Yeah, if you guys have never seen Sam's indoor grow, Pepper poppy has a massive indoor grow. But here's another piece of advice. Many people have a problem with their ink staying on their whatever they're marking their plants with. Here's the product that you get. So you get a Statler Lumocolor garden marker pen.
Garden marker.
This
cool.
garden marker pen will not fade in UV light at all whatsoever. To show you, here are some plant tags from 2 years ago. Let me find the container. I don't throw a lot of things away.
In gardening, I think that's the thing to do, is not throw a lot of stuff away because you can always reuse it.
Yeah, you just recycle everything.
I agree. So this is a plant marker tag from 2 years ago. And it has not faded at all
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it looks like you just made it a little while ago.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That's awesome.
So yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it? I'm not sure how close that is. But it's a Statler Lumocolor garden marker pen. You can get these on Amazon for about, I don't know, $5, maybe $4.
Awesome.
And then this plant tag can stay outside all year round, and it will never, ever fade. So that was my next suggestion, is after you get your plants potted up, don't forget to put a tag in there before you go on to your next variety. I've done that many times, where I potted up 2 or 3 or 4 varieties and forgot to put the garden marker tag in.
Unidentified superhots already.
And then you have absolutely no clue what the plant is.
Yeah. Well, that's, if you look at this tray here, I don't know how to reverse the camera, so I'm just going to have to kind of turn the face camera to face it.
That's fine.
You see these 5 here?
Not yet. I'm seeing them on my phone, but okay. Now it's showing me on my laptop. Yeah, I'm seeing them.
These are all 3-gallon grow pots. The only one that I know is what like what it is this middle one. It's a Leviathan Gnarly Scorpion Chocolate that I grew from seeds that Jason Abercrombie sent me some peppers.
Yeah,
he let me save the seeds and grow the seeds from them. And so I had started those and everything, but I marked the stuff down in my tray for the 4 outer ones, and then I had it written down front and back with the way that I had mapped everything out. But then I lost track. So then, I know what they could be, but I won't know until they grow exactly what they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. So when I see the peppers grow, I'll know what they are because I know what they could be. It's one of 2 things. But, I won't know exactly until then. So I've waited to, and plus they're only 3-gallon grow pods. They should be putting pods out by the time I get back from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So
another thing is, I don't like surprises. I like to know exactly what happened from one year to another. You could see on my marker that I put the date where I sowed the seeds. I put the date that the seeds emerged, and then I put the date that I potted up.
Oh, nice.
And that, because of the garden marker Lumocolor garden marker pen, all of this ink can be below the soil and it will not bleed at all.
Awesome.
How long do your seeds take to sprout, inside usually?
Yeah, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and learning how to do this mass planting technique has saved my basement. Because like I said, I can use just one germination mat and I can have 700 plants from one germination mat.
Nice. To answer your question,
say that again, Sam.
Dizzy asked how long it takes for the seeds to usually germinate.
It all depends on if it's on a germination mat or not. Seeds, pepper seeds specifically. Same with tomatoes and any of the plants in that family want soil that's above 70 degrees to germinate quickly. So, for example, I planted these on November 4th. I sowed them on November 4th. They popped up on the 17th. So it was about 13 days.
Yeah.
And for a chinense, that's about right. For an annuum,
The
it's
thing
usually
is, I
7
don't
or 8
sprout on
days.
soil. I literally just soak the seeds on peroxide until they sprout. I keep them in a little jar so they don't get any soil or anything.
Yeah.
Tell me
I
what he
That's
said,
another
Sam.
method.
Your voice is louder.
So he said that he keeps the seeds in peroxide, and he
Yeah.
waits until they start to sprout, and then he sows them. I do something similar to that, kind of. So I take a solution of 50% hydrogen peroxide, 50% water, and I have old shot glasses that I used to use from whenever I was drinking. I don't drink anymore, So I figured I better put them to some use. And so I'll do that. I'll put the seeds in there, and then I squirt the hydrogen peroxide on the seeds, because in my mind, it's sterilizing the outside of them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Creating a healthier habitat. And then I'll squirt just as much water as what I put hydrogen peroxide, and then I'll let those soak for at least an hour, typically, maybe up to like 2 hours or so. And then I'll sow them in, because what it does is it softens up the outer shell,
Yep.
and then it makes it easier for them to germinate quickly. Like I have some of the seeds that Jimmy sent me for his piranha. I have some of those. I sowed multiples of like the different kinds and everything like that, and I've had multiple. Now they were very, very, and that was another thing I was going to add to what Dean was saying. It also depends on how fresh the seeds are, Dizzy.
Yeah. The
but,
older, the harder the longer it takes.
Yeah, so I know the seeds that I got from Jimmy had literally just been dried, so like they germinated within a week. You know what I mean? So, which is I've had happen before, but generally, like what Dean said, it's like about 2 weeks. But I have had some that took like over a month. But I think that's because they were older seeds. I got some seeds for white hot peppers for the chocolate primatali. And I know that they came from a stock that he had grown a few years prior and everything like that. So they were actually like one of the last packs of those seeds that he had sent out. Those took over like a month. So, but I didn't start them, indoors on a heat mat and everything like that. I didn't use the same exact method. I just kind of put them outside and like kept it like moist, and etc. Whatever. But then I ended up getting a few seedlings that popped up after like a month and a half. So that's why I really looked into like how do I better my germination rates and times. Because I was still new to it and everything. I didn't know, and I didn't know what I know now, and I didn't have people around me like Dean and like Matthew and like Nick and everybody else that helps me with these things and have taught me all these different things. So I'm lucky in that.
Do you know what the actual term is for what you did with the solution? So it's called stratification.
Stratification, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's called scarification. So scarification, what that is you're softening the seed coat. Especially if you're going to grow pubescens, the Ricardo varieties. They're a black seed. If you haven't seen them, I think you've seen them, but some people haven't. If you open up a Ricardo seeds and you see black Ricardo pepper and you see black seeds, don't freak out. They're not bad. It's the natural seed from a pubescens plant.
What they look like.
But that seed coat is extremely hard, and it's much, much easier to germinate if you use scarification. So the way that Sam was talking about with the hydrogen peroxide works very well. What I use is black tea. I just make a cup of black tea. I drink the first cup, and then I leave the same tea bag in, and I put more water in, and I brew a second cup of tea. That's a weaker tea, and then I just drop my seeds in that black tea, in the weakened black tea from the second cup, not the first cup. It's going to be way too strong, and it'll actually cause a mold growth on your seeds if you use the first cup. But that second cup of black tea is perfect for scarification. And then, sorry, I was talking about stratification. Stratification is actually where a perennial plant, it wants to be cold. So, like a perennial, if you're going to grow perennials, if you throw them in the seeds in the refrigerator for about 2 months before you take them outside, you've then stratified them. So then the seed thinks
It's like grapes. It's
that
like grapes. You have
it's
to put
gone
them
through
on the
winter.
fridge first. Or like cherries, I think they also do it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
A lot of fruit plants require stratification as well.
Yeah.
And then and another way to do scarification, which Sam was talking about, is I do have seeds actually. Hold on. So this is what I was telling you about last week, Sam. This
Okay.
is those containers where I keep my seeds in.
Nice.
They're like little Tic
Oh,
Tac.
that's a cool way to do it. That's cool.
They're like little
Yeah, I
Tic
just
Tac
keep them out
boxes.
in Seedlings. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what you do is you take a seed, and you can either use a nail file
Oh yeah,
or a
like
tiny bit
physical
of like a soft
scarification.
sandpaper or a fingernail clippers. And I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see this tiny little seedling in my fingers.
Yeah.
But you see on this side of the seed, it's got a pointy end, right?
Uh-huh.
So that pointy end, you don't want to mess with that pointy end. But what you
That's
do
where
is
the real
right
stuff
next to that pointy spot, you
Uh-huh.
take your sandpaper and lightly rub right here beside that pointy end. And then you've also done scarification. So then this seed is going to germinate way faster without the use of hydrogen peroxide, without the use of tea. Or you can take a pair of fingernail clippers and lightly take off just a tiny microscopic little clipping off the side. But again, this little pointy spot right here, you do not want to mess with that if you're scarifying the seed.
Oh, nice.
That's actually what I do with my milkweed seeds. I use a piece of first I stratify them. I put them in the refrigerator for about a month, and then I pull them out, and then I use the sandpaper, and I'll lightly scarify
Okay.
the outside of the seed coating.
Okay.
It's the ones that butterflies like, no? It's the what is it called?
Milkweed?
That plant, milkweed.
Yes, it's the one that the butterflies the what are they called again?
Butterflies?
Monarchs.
Monarchs. It's the plant that the monarch
Yeah.
caterpillar uses for their food source.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm on the live. I can never remember anything when I'm on a live.
Well, I guess it's a good
Yeah,
thing
me
I went
too.
to
I kind
Rural.
of stumble on my words.
I guess it's a good thing I went to Rural King today because I got some of this,
Happy Frog.
and I also have
Oh.
some Ocean Forest, but that's a bigger bag, so I'm not going to be able to get it like how I can this. What is it? 2 cubic feet or whatever it is. 12 quart, 12 dry quart.
So Happy Frog is an amazing product if anybody's never used it. It's a little expensive as soils go, but the bat guano that contains in it is an amazing nutrient source for pepper plants.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's an evil avocado I just took out of the main container and planted in a new container that quickly.
Boy.
What filial stage is the evil avocado now? It has to be fairly
I believe
developed
it's
now.
F4 seeds that are being planted, correct, Ian?
I can barely hear. What did he say, Sam?
He asked what
So
filial generation it is for the.
So these seeds are
avocado.
F4.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some cups and a marker, and I'm gonna do this as well.
Dizzy, I think you were asking if you could be part of the grow out. Was it you?
I don't think so.
It wasn't you. Okay.
I
I
don't think
forget
so.
who it was, but somebody was asking if they could be part of the grow out.
I mean, I would grow them, but it wasn't me who asked.
So if any, there's a lot of people that want this seed and want this pepper,
Yeah.
and I'm not allowing it to get out just yet. I have a very select group of 5 people who are helping me grow out the pheno that I'm looking for specifically for the evil avocado. Now, I do have 2 other phenos that I'm looking for out of the exact same seeds. One I'm calling Basilisk, and one I'm calling a Golden Torpedo. They're the exact same pepper, the exact same seeds from the F3 generation, and I will be having people help with that with those 2 phenotypes. So it'll be the same seeds. It'll just be completely different phenotypes. I just don't want them called evil avocado.
Basilisk is a cool name. I don't know why they didn't pick that one before.
Sorry, Dizzy, it's really hard to hear you right now because my heater just kicked on.
Yeah, it's okay. I guess
If
you
you
will
could
see it
repeat
back
that
in the
now
live
so
stream.
Sam can tell me what you say.
I think he said it was a really cool name.
Basilisk.
Say that again.
He said Basilisk is a really cool name.
Yeah, so the phenotype that I found for that one, if you lay the pepper flat on the table, it'll lay on the table like this, and then the tip points up, and it just
cool.
reminded me of a basilisk claw. Whereas the evil avocado is fat, then it's thin, then it's fat, then it's thin. This one was very thin, almost like the golden primatale, the mother plant that it came from. But then at the end, the stinger points directly upwards.
But it still has the purple bits, or did it miss them?
They still have the purple parts, like the dark and black and
Yes.
stuff.
Same exact coloration, just a different shape, a different phenotype.
That's
Mike
cool.
asked, when should I start planting my super hots? I live in Colorado. So I actually just moved to Pennsylvania from Colorado in 2018. And your plant out date, which is about 2 weeks after, or 2 to 3 weeks after your last frost or last frost date, should be around May 25th, if I remember right. Sometimes May 30th. What I do with my chinense and my pubescens varieties, because they're very, very, very long growing plants, I will start them in Colorado specifically in January. And then my annuums, my frutescens, and what's the 5th maiden variety?
Santanum, Chinense, Bacatum.
Yeah. I will sow those in March to plant out in May. Because you want about 8 weeks for a normal plant. The chinense and pubescens are not normal plants. They take a lot longer from the time you sow them to the time that they fruit. So you'll want to sow those in January. Here in Pennsylvania, I don't sow my chinense and my pubescens until February, late February, and then I sow my annuums and the other varieties in late March, early April. And you can see all this time I've been talking, I've been holding this plant out of the soil by a cotyledon. Literally the whole time I've been talking. It's perfectly fine. It'll grow perfectly well, and it will not have slowed down the growth of the plant at all.
You'll remember if you mess up, if you crunch the stem, that will teach you forever.
And then, if the cotyledons are quite far above the soil, like this one, I didn't get it planted deep enough. All you do is take a little extra soil, drop it down the side of the cup, and it's still quite far above the soil. So just add more soil down the side of the cup. You don't want to drop it on top of the cotyledons, but then you just kind of tap the side of the cup. Again, not quite as close to the cotyledons as I like. So I tap some more in there and tap the side of the cup so that it goes around the stem of the plant.
You're using potting soil for this, correct?
This is ProMix BX. So yes, it's a potting soil.
Okay. I heard you mention that with the Provi. I just had never used it before, so I wanted to make sure I didn't know which one it was.
It's a phenomenal seed starting soil. It is a little tiny bit thick. It has some wood particles. So if you are very particular about how quickly and how easily you want your seeds to sprout, then you need to take a strainer, put it in the strainer, and then shake the strainer out over a container so that the finer particles come through the strainer and use those finer particles. But me personally, because I use the dense planting technique, it's actually called the dense planting technique. I don't care about how many germinate and how many don't. Like I said, I'm putting anywhere from 10 to 50 plants in one cell of a 72 cell seed tray. And I'm pulling them when they're at this stage of life out of that seed tray. So, I don't care how many germinate and how many don't, unless I'm doing a germination test on my seeds to send to other people.
So
Anytime, Mike.
would it be okay to use Happy Frog for this then?
Yeah, you can. The only thing is that until a plant is 2 or 3 sets of true leaves, it's actually still using the nutrients that were inside the seed itself. So you might burn them a little bit with Happy Frog, but if you do, they'll pop right back out. But just take a couple little tiny seedlings that you don't really super care about and test it.
Oh, okay.
I
That's the
always
thing with
test.
gardening. You always have to be testing if it works with you.
It is a lifelong learning process, Dizzy. It doesn't matter. You've been gardening forever. It's a lifelong learning process. You never, ever, ever know everything you want to know.
Well, then I will not.
Sometimes something messes up and you have no idea why.
Exactly. What were you saying, Sam?
I will not put one of my evil avocados in this until I know that it works. Then.
How many seedlings do you have?
So I started a row in this one, and then I have a pellet tray that Matthew was telling me about to start them in, and I did I think 4 or 5 in that because that's just what I plan on having started and growing, maybe starting into the winter, and then maybe put some kind of bigger plants out for like earlier season pods to see how that works and stuff. Because last summer we had a really hot summer and stuff, so I want to, I didn't want to put everything all together at once.
So, how many total evil avocado seedlings do you have, babies?
2 out of the 3 in this one, and then I'll have to check the seed starting. I have my booklet over there, so like I wanted to wait until I got a better way of starting the seeds as well, because I was using these are like there's 12 and this little.
Yeah,
Look
it's
how
like
small.
the 72, but it's only 12. Got it.
Yeah, but look how small they are.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah, and so like by now they should have been bigger than that. So but once I've kind of up potted them, so to speak, they really took off. I have a warthog that's like this big around. I up potted it from one of those cells.
That's nice.
And I sowed them at the same time as what these are. That is why I did these. So
yeah, the warthogs actually grow really fast. I noticed that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, you know what I mean? But I put that one into a arrow garden though.
Yeah.
So it's growing DWC hydroponically. So
I have my arrow garden upstairs. I have a golden primatale in one side of it, and I have I think a warthog in the other side of it.
Yeah, so once I get big enough seedlings to transfer them over to the arrow garden for the evil avocado, I plan on growing one side. I was going to get another one and then grow one side with the evil avocado and then another side with something else. I'm not sure yet what I'll put on the other side. I'll have to see how everything germinates because I don't want to take it out of the pellets to put into the arrow garden. I'd rather it be something that came out of like the seed starting tray because you take the seedling out, you wash it off, then you put it into that little like cup basically that goes down into the arrow garden.
Yeah.
So and then I put rock wool to kind of secure
That's
it.
what
And
I
put it
use,
like
rock
this.
wool.
Yeah. So just to like secure it into place and stuff, you know. And then eventually the plant will grow, and then it'll get like well, I mean, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it on this beast here. Once it starts getting that kind of like, you see how the stem looks. You guys know. Oh crap!
I'll look. I'll see in just a second when it shows up on my laptop. There it is. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So once it gets to that point, then I know that it'll be all right.
So, what are you starting your seeds in when you put them in your arrow garden? Are you starting them in the rock wool, or are you starting them in paper towels, or in soil?
Hold on. I'm doing it in my. I was doing them in my seed starting tray.
Yeah. So in soil.
Yeah, in soil. So that seemed
Yeah.
to work good for me, at least so far. But
Yeah, I have a hard time starting my seeds in rock wool. A lot of times they'll pop, but a lot of times they won't pop. So the thing that I find the best is this exact process, the dense planting technique, and using what I'm using right now to get them out of the soil. You know, just loosen them with the not toothpick. It's a very long toothpick with the chopstick, and pulling them out by their cotyledon, cutting your rock wool. So if anybody doesn't know what rock wool is, hold on a second, I'll show you. Rock wool is a spongy material that actually is super heated and spun rock, which is why it's called rock wool.
Cotton candy made out of rocks.
yeah,
Yep, it's
basically.
made from rock. Volcanic rock, if I remember right. But then what you do is you just take your rock wool, take a pair of scissors, snip down the side, but only halfway through it. Take one of your seedlings out. Again, using a chopstick, loosening the soil around it. And then what I do is I knock a little bit of that soil off of the roots with the chopstick like this, because I don't want a bunch of soil in my arrow garden or in my DWC containers. Then you take that rock wool that you already split in half. See if I can get it on camera. And then you take the little seedling that you just took out of the soil and wrap the rock wool around the seedling. And then you have a perfect substrate to hold your plant in your arrow garden or your whatever, a DWC container,
Have you
which
tested if it
means deep
actually like
water
grows
culture, if
through it,
anybody
or do
doesn't
you
know.
need to always seed it? Like, or can it grow through it like the root by itself?
What'd you say?
Have you guys tested how to, if you can plant it without actually having to like slit the rock wool? Like, I wonder if the root will actually go through it.
I've seen some people do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of what you do. Well, I guess, but you're not using rock wool. So if you get the Arrow Garden, if you start with the Arrow Garden brand new and you get the Arrow Garden like pods with the cups and everything, that's basically what you're doing. But it's not rock wool though. So I mean, I guess it's not the exact same thing. That's just peat moss basically.
Yeah, I wonder
So
because the texture is sort of, sort of tough.
I'm going to go fill more cups. I'll let you talk with them, Sam.
okay. But yeah, so that's basically what you're doing with those. Oh, oh, excuse my language. Uh, dang it! I dropped that dang seedling.
Hey, Sam, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to make a remark in the remarks section in the chat, please.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse there, you guys. And
Oh, you already did. I see it.
in the comments part.
I already see. Well, never mind.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, I would be nervous to actually break the seedlings. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh
that
yeah, it's
little.
very oh, dang it, kind of making a mess here.
Maybe it helps with like meditation.
Oh
It
yeah,
clears your
see
mind.
my problem today is that I drank a bunch of coffee. I got new coffee today
What'd you
from
get?
it's Hills Bros. It's the high yield, so it's like extra caffeine. Bro, I'm not joking you. This morning I was like this because I hadn't ate anything. It was like I was chugging
That's
energy drinks.
crazy.
So I ate a couple pieces of pizza that I had left, and I ate a couple peanut butter and jellies. And
That's
that,
funny.
I'm telling you, bro, it was terrible. I was shaking so bad, and I was playing Call of Duty, so I was hyped up already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's funny. So I've actually started trying that Rise coffee, RYZE, the
yeah,
mushroom coffee that you
yeah,
see all over
Hmm.
Facebook. I
uh,
like it, but it's a little expensive for my taste. So I don't know if I'm going to re up my subscription.
yeah. If you have a Rural King value, I would suggest trying that Hillsborough coffee. It is actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah, but the caffeine in it is really strong, though, bro.
Cool.
All right, so I kind of did that with this. This is a
How,
Novel Beast caramel.
how'd it come out? Let me see.
Not as good as yours did, but uh, can you see it?
Yes.
That's fine.
I didn't go all the way up to the leaf, but
What variety is it again?
that's a Nagla Beast caramel.
Nagla beast.
So
Yeah.
that's a not a
They look
ghost
super
pepper
cool.
cross with a bootla with a bootla.
I
Nagla beast.
think
I think it is Naga crossed. I don't remember if it's Morugla, so the Moruga crossed with the Dougla.
Yeah, it's Marugla. Yeah.
So I
yeah,
don't
it's
know
I
which
think you're
one.
right, Dizzy. Yeah, that worked. The only issue with that is that you already know where to put your lights because you've been doing this for a while. But
yeah,
somebody who doesn't know how far of a distance they need to put their lights away from their seedlings, if they
uh,
do it like you did, the
They're
plant's
gonna
going to get
toast
very
them.
leggy very quickly. Of
yeah,
course, you already know how to fix that, but
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna and then I just kind of set it in my tray for now, and then I'll just do like this. I have a little bread pan that I have
yeah,
that I have some cups sitting in without the bottom cup.
right.
So um, I'll just take my little jug here. This has just a little bit of nutrients in it, so
Is is it a hydro nutrient?
it's yes, it's general hydroponics.
Yeah, I actually use General Hydro as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that and it's funny
I
because
try to
remember
only
I was
fertilize
telling you.
foliarly, but yeah.
Oh, nice. It's funny because I told you, remember, I was like, I can't find it. I lost it, you know?
Yeah.
I found it like a week or two ago, something like that. And then I started putting, I'm glad that I found it because I love those nutrients. I think it helps a lot.
So everybody, real quick, I'm gonna walk away from the phone, so I'm not gonna hear because I'm gonna go fill some soil trays. But if you watch where my finger's at, and you look right here, I have a seedling that's been laying on this table for almost the entire time we've been talking. It was the very first evil avocado seedling that I took out. It's just been laying on the table outside of soil, and it's perfectly fine. It'll grow perfectly well. Um, like I said, pepper seedlings are one of the most hardy seedlings on the planet.
Nice. And so I actually
Sorry if
have.
I'm not talking too much, but I'm just chilling here. You
Don't
know what I
forget, I can't hear you guys.
mean?
Oh yeah, you're all right, Dizzy. I'm doing a lot of like watching as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because especially with like Dean and Matthew and stuff, you know, like a lot of the time I'll just watch or I'll just listen to what they're talking about because I know
Yeah.
these guys know way more about this stuff than what I do, you know?
Yeah, you sort
So,
of enter like a podcast state.
yeah.
So I actually just set my cups down on top of that little seedling. And so long as I didn't set it on the stem too hard, it'll be fine.
Nice.
And you can see it still looks perfectly healthy. The stem is still round. Put my finger down in there. Loosen the soil a little bit. And that seedling now has a soil home.
Nice.
You can
Nice
do
and
it pretty
pretty.
fast when you get used to it too. Like you can
Yeah.
bloop 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 bloop.
Yeah, when you do it, when you're not doing it on a video to show other people, I could do 100 plants an hour probably.
So the next one I want to do.
Say that again.
Oh, I'm thinking to myself or talking to myself. I was thinking the next one I think I'll just try one of each maybe. I
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
you're gonna like the Nagla caramel. I've seen the beast. Well, there's so many peppers that are called beast. You got like the beast, and then the super hot beast. There's so many.
Yeah.
I don't think I've tried it yet, Dizzy.
The Nagla Beast Caramel?
No.
Oh,
They
well, I'll
got
send you.
super cool shapes. The shapes are the cool thing. It's sort of like a
Actually, I take
Moruga,
that
but
back. I had a Nagla Beast chocolate at the Lake Erie Championship. If you remember the video where Johnny was talking about throwing me a pepper, it was a Nagla Beast chocolate. That's what it was.
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think he had them.
Sorry, Dizzy. What'd you say?
No, yeah, I think he had them. Like, he had a ton of the Naglas. I don't know. I remember seeing a lot of reviews for it.
Yeah. So so the name technically is the Nagla Beast Caramel, but it's a chocolate pod. So I don't understand. You know what I mean? I think maybe
Is
they're the same thing.
is it
I
a
mean,
true
maybe reverse.
chocolate or does it have the reddish tint?
I'm pretty sure it's a true chocolate. I don't know. I may
Oh,
be wrong, but
Let's hope it didn't cross.
yeah.
that's the thing about my garden is it's a completely non-isolated garden. Up until this year, 2025, I will be isolating a few of the evil avocado seedlings, and I'll be also isolating a plant that I'm getting seeds from Shahina out in the UK. There's a specific plant that was created and then named for her, and I'm gonna
Oh.
isolate that one so that she can get true seedlings out of that one, or true pods.
Nice. So one of my questions is if I'm growing indoors, do I still have to like have the nets and everything for them to be isolated or no?
No,
Okay.
well, depending. I mean, if your grow space has a lot of flies, yes,
Okay.
because a fly is still a pollinator. If you have a lot of ants, yes, an ant is still a pollinator.
Yeah.
But if you keep your grow space fairly clean from anything that can
Insects.
go from one flower to another flower, then no, you don't need to isolate at all.
Okay. You guys want to hear something interesting that I did this morning?
What'd you do?
Right whenever that caffeine started kicking in, like I had like half a cup of coffee before I did this, so I was starting to get it. So I'm glad that I did it at the time that I did. So Jason from Abercrombie Hot Peppers, you guys know.
Yeah, I know Jason.
So Jason's an awesome guy. He was so kind as to send me. He had so you know the Leviathan gnarly scorpion
Yes.
chocolate, right?
Yep.
Well, Jason got a plant that started throwing mustard pods.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm helping him grow that out as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But I took one of the flower buds you could just see the first leaf, and I look at them every day. You could just see the first leaf. This is on my indoor, obviously, in the arrow garden. It did like this. The first leaf just barely moves. I'm like, if there's any time where I'll be able to cross this with something, I think that would be just about the perfect time.
Have a great day,
Right
Mark.
before-
Thanks for coming.
So I opened that up. I took off the leaves. I took off the anthers, and I just left the stigma. And I took an open flower from one of my chocolate primatale plants I have growing indoors,
Right.
and I dabbed that stigma down in there. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy when I say this, but I swear sometimes I can see where the stigma has touched the pollen, like, and it just gets a little bit of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets a little
Yes,
bit of
I do.
sticky bit. Yeah, you
So-
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it doesn't drop that flower bud off, I should have, a cross of those
Yeah,
two.
that's gonna come out chocolate probably.
Yeah,
Because chocolate and mustard are the same. It just doesn't have the red.
yeah. So hopefully that takes, and hopefully I'll end up getting something that throws. Maybe out of F1 or F2 I'll get chocolate and mustard pods, but really bumpy. And since it was the pollinated plant, I know Dean hates when you call it the other way. But the pollinated plant that I used in that instance was the Leviathan gnarly scorpion mustard. So hopefully
The
it has.
pistillate.
Huh?
The name for the mom, scientific name is pistillate. That's what you call them when you put pollen from something into it.
Pistillate.
Pistillate. Like pistil and a verb.
Pistillate. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean hates the like with the working nomenclature of mother and father plants.
I don't hate it. The only
I mean, it
only
gives you
thing
an
that I
idea.
really hate in the pepper community is when somebody says that their garden is open pollinated.
Oh, okay.
That is an inappropriate term. Open pollinated is actually a term that refers to seeds growing true from the mother plant, so that if it says it's an open pollinated variety, it means that it's not a hybrid. It's going to grow, and you're going to get what you expect it to give you. But people in the pepper community for years and years and years have said that I have an open pollinated garden when they really mean I have a non-isolated garden.
Yeah.
That's the term that I hate.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
because,
with mother plant, father plant, because I actually don't mind the fact that we anthropomorphize plants. I'm not a scientist. It's a scientist that'll get annoyed by anthropomorphization,
Oh, okay.
which
Could you
means, if anybody doesn't know, it means ascribing human qualities to something that is not human.
Here's the thing, though. I got an
I
idea.
think we do it with everything.
I got an idea from that, and hopefully you don't hate me when I say this, Dean. But it gave me an idea of, if I ever hit the lottery, which I'm gonna have to start playing if I do, I want to do like a skit, almost like how Ashton Kutcher did Punk'd back in the day, where he pranked his friends and stuff. And I'll have somebody ask you at like a pepper show, and they just keep saying open pollinated, you know what I mean?
Oh, I would come find you and I would murder you.
Yeah.
Because you're such a nice guy that you would put up with it, but I mean, they might see a little twitch every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yes, I would twitch uncontrollably, especially if I just sat at a table and ate 40 super hots.
Oh yeah, you're going through cap cramps, and then you get that.
Yeah, you get.
I have one for my dad too. My dad hates it, like if you call him Buddy.
Buddy, really?
Yeah, because I have a cousin,
Buddy?
and his real name is Paul, but everyone calls him Buddy. But Buddy is just like a bad human being.
That's funny.
Is the nicest way I can describe it. And my dad is like, I've talked to you about that before, Dean.
Oh,
but like, so if I want to make my dad mad, say that he's getting on to me about something. If I want to give him it back, I'll just go, all right, buddy. He's like, yeah. And then he'll say
That's
things I'm
funny.
not going to say on the stream and everything. But
You're a button pusher like I am, huh?
oh yeah, well that's the thing is like, bro, like, because to me it's just such a ridiculous thing for him to get angry about. I don't like Buddy either, but I mean, I don't get offended. I mean, it really, there's only a few words that you could call me where I would actually get upset by him. You know what I mean?
The only thing that I can be called that I'll get upset by is a liar.
Yeah, I don't like that either, but it's yeah.
Because I'm intensely honest. I'm so honest that, if I get stopped by a cop and the cop asks me, so what, do you know why I stopped you? Yeah, I was doing 87 and a 23.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing too. And, like I told you about this before, Dean, I had during this summer and like the late spring and stuff, I was drinking too much. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, one night I had drank way too much the night before, and then I had drove the next morning. I ended up getting an OWI. You know what I mean? So, but like the whole time, I was nice to the cop. I didn't give him a hard time.
That's a plus.
And I was just like honest. I'm like, hey, I don't know, and like, I didn't like, I wasn't like bad to him whatsoever and stuff, and he actually said that. But I was at a really bad point in my life,
Yeah.
whenever that was happening, just in my mental state because of my past job at Amazon, because they spend a lot of money on PR to make themselves not look as bad as what they actually are as far as
Right.
the workers and stuff. Because if people knew half the stuff that, not to get this in that direction and stuff, but people knew half the stuff that happens at Amazon, they wouldn't buy things from Amazon. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people have a lot of beliefs about a lot of companies, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's okay, Dizzy. Thank you for coming on and saying hi. It was really nice to have you on.
Thanks, Dizzy. It was good having you. I'm transferring another one of these over. This one is a Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Yeah, have you had
chocolate or red?
Chocolate.
Cool.
Have you tried that one yet, Dean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What did you think about it?
So I thought that it was I have to remember, it was 2 years ago, I think. It was about 1.5 to 1.6 million, at least according to my personal thought of what it was. And it was extremely earthy and extremely floral.
Oh, okay. So you had a Rimmer pod before, correct?
I have not tried one. I do have seeds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have seeds that I started. I think. Oh no, actually, that I didn't send you any of this because you said you had seed. You told me you had seed. I sent you a package. Hopefully, I think it said it's going to get delivered tomorrow, maybe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But oh crap.
What's up, Heat Seeker? How you doing?
Heat Seeker, what's up, brother?
If you want to come on and say hi, you can click the link at the very top of the chat and you can come on screen.
Oh, that would be awesome. I watch Heat Seeker all the time. He's one of the guys I watch. Obviously, I watch you and Keaton. And another person that I like is Steven Hot Sauce Guy Edwards. I think you had mentioned him in one of your.
Yep, he's one of mine too.
Yeah, but man, I love those guys' content. It'd be really cool
to
have him.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants me saying his name, so I won't say his name. But Heat Seeker and we chat every once in a while. I really enjoy my conversations that I have with him.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy too. You know what I mean?
He is. He absolutely is. He's genuine.
And he makes really cool content. I think you really nailed it with what you were talking about whenever you had mentioned him in one of your videos.
Which thing?
Like basically all of them, because you had mentioned the backdrop of like the Florida backdrop or
Oh,
whatever.
I love his natural backdrop.
And then his tolerance and just
Yeah.
like his ability to kind of like review and talk about the peppers and stuff. That's something I really enjoy about watching his videos as well, you know. And he seems like just such a nice, genuine dude. You know what I mean?
He's probably blushing like crazy right now.
Man, I'm just being honest. I mean, obviously, like I don't know him like in real life and stuff, but I'm just saying out of seeing his content and everything, you know. And then talking to him and like Johnny's lives and different things like that, you know.
He's actually probably at work right now, but no, maybe not. Again, just scroll up to the very top of the chat, and there's a link. You click on the link, and then I have to allow you in. Actually, Sam, I made you a moderator. You might be able to allow him in. I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to unless you're on the StreamYard platform.
Okay.
But you might be able to.
I'll try. If he tries to join, if anything pops up, I'll accept it.
Do you have the links down at the bottom where it says Mike, Cam, guests, and more?
Yeah.
So when a red colored dot shows up over the word guests, then click on guests and click on him and add to stream.
I see Mike, Cam, chat, and then more.
You don't have the guest button then?
No. And
okay,
then
so only I can do it then.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Dizzy. I appreciate you reposting that.
How's this one look, Dean?
You and Dizzy just became moderators today.
Awesome.
That looks beautiful, Sam.
Thank you. Now I'll just have to give it a little bit of water and nutrients. Heat Seeker, what's up, brother?
What's up, dude?
What's up, y'all?
How you doing?
How you doing?
All
There's
right.
that beautiful Florida black backdrop.
Oh yeah. It's good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Thank
Good
you.
to finally meet you, man.
Nice to finally meet you too. Yeah, I was telling Dean, man, I love your content, you know. I watch it all the time.
I appreciate that, man.
You're welcome. Yeah, I watch a bunch of different stuff, but like I was telling Dean, like you, him, Johnny, Keaton, Stephen Edwards, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure there's a few other people that, I haven't, that I didn't mention and stuff that, you guys do reviews and eat the peppers and stuff. And I really enjoy watching you guys' stuff. So it's really cool to finally meet you and talk to you and stuff, So, because I think you do an awesome job.
So just like I've shown before, little bitty tiny seedling. You can barely even see the cotyledons, but it came out super simple with the chopstick and slides right in the new soil perfectly.
Nice. And see, I'm doing mine just a little bit differently, Dean. I'm not even grabbing them by the cotyledons. I'm just breaking it loose from the sides of the tray.
Yeah.
And then I do grab the cotyledon, but I take the chopstick and I loosen it, even more, and then I kind of lift it while I'm holding the cotyledon, and then I put it down in there. So hopefully,
that's cool.
Hopefully it doesn't get nutrient burned.
Nah, as long as you're not messing with the stem, it'll be perfectly fine.
Oh.
It's only when you grab it by the stem, like Mike Eskimo Stoltz said, that you'll damage the plant.
Oh, okay.
So where do you grab?
So how was your day, bro?
Oh, it's going okay, man. Just spending time with the family.
Yeah.
Just got done watching a movie with the wife and kids, and yeah, just hanging out, man. Got to go to work tonight, but
you didn't have to work today, or did you work last night?
I decided not to go in early today. I'm gonna get my overtime.
That's a plus.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, so I was like, I'm gonna hang out at the house.
Oh yeah, that's the thing to do, especially when you're married and you got kids and stuff like that,
I wonder if this is going to mess up the sound. I'm going to try one of my earbuds and see if it actually connects or not. We'll see. I'm curious if I'll be able to hear you better.
Man, y'all are doing it right, man. I need to plant some seeds, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like I'm getting late to it now.
I can send you some seeds if you need some. Did you get warthog seeds, Heat Seeker?
Yes, actually, Clayton sent me a few. So
Good.
yeah,
Okay.
he asked me if I wanted some seeds. He's like, man, I got plenty. I'll send you some. I was like, awesome, man. Clayton's been awesome, man. He's an amazing dude.
Oh yeah.
He got such a big heart.
Oh yeah. I've never talked to Clayton before, but from like everything, like I think maybe like I said hello to him or something like that, and he might have said hello back on one of Johnny's lives. But I never like emailed him or anything like that. But from what everybody has told me, he's just such a nice guy. You know what I mean? And he grows some really awesome peppers too. So
Oh, yes, he does. Yeah, he reached out to me and on one of my videos, and he's like, man, I'd like to send you some peppers. And so we just connected. He's the first one to just send me boxes and boxes of peppers, man. That's awesome. He's so generous and so kind, and
Yeah,
he's a great dude.
that's
Can't say
awesome.
enough good about him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I like him.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I
well,
don't know if it's just me, but your audio sounds crazy right now, bro.
mine.
You
Mine?
hear that?
Say that again, Heat Seeker.
Your audio is really, really crazy on my end. I don't know if it's
Mine or Sam's?
I can't even understand you.
Is it on Dean's or on mine?
Actually, it's coming through on both of y'all's now. It's
Let me try this. Hold on.
It's fine on mine.
Is this better?
Yeah, I can hear it fine now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what
So
you
maybe
had.
it was just where I had my microphone sitting.
Yeah, it might have been.
All right.
I'll try it at the front of my shirt. Maybe it won't be rustling like when my hair hits it.
I
Yeah,
think.
Busy, you got
Sorry
the
about
yellow warthog, huh?
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I wonder
You'll
if
have to send me a picture of it at some point. I'm really curious how it looks.
Nice.
I can't see the chat.
If you click on more, I think it'll show the comments for the chat. Heat Seeker.
Okay.
Say that
You
again,
might have
Sam.
to go to comments. Heat Seeker said he couldn't see the chat, but I was telling him how to do
Got
that.
it. Awesome.
Dean, I sent you some seeds for the warthog that I don't think you had. You have just a regular warthog, correct?
That's all I have. I have the regular warthog, which could be Pheno 1 or Pheno 2, because he said he sent Pheno 1 and 2 out to multiple people. So
Okay. I had some seeds that he sent me for purple gator jigsaw crossed with the warthog.
oh, that's going to be an amazing pepper.
Oh yeah. So
That sounds
I think I put some of those in the thing I sent you, and I think I put some rogues as well. If I forgot to put one of those, just let me know and I'll send you another thing of them.
Perfect. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
You're welcome.
Dean, quick
Thank you.
question.
What's up?
How are you saying to hold those seedlings to where it doesn't mess them up?
By the
By the
cotyledon?
Okay.
The
That's
baby leaves, the cotyledons?
Yeah.
The first leaf?
Okay.
So here, I'll just show you. So you can see that seedling. Let me turn the cup so it's easier to see. All you see are the cotyledons. It doesn't have true leaves yet.
Uh-huh.
So what I do, and I said this previously on the video, I take a chopstick, I hold it by one cotyledon, one side of the baby leaves. I put the chopstick down in the soil. I loosen the soil around the root. And then I very gently pull up on the cotyledon. And boom, it pops right out.
Okay. Awesome.
And I was telling people I do this because I use a dense planting technique. So in a 72 cell seed tray, I will have a minimum of 700 seedlings.
Wow.
Because that way I can just use one germination mat and have my entire years grow from one germination mat.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It works really well.
Yeah, I just ordered another germination mat because I didn't even think about that. I was just Matthew told me about doing it with the pellets, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try the pellets, and they germinated really quickly, and it makes transferring so much easier and stuff. But
the only problem I have with those pellets is the plastic wrapping on the outside, the plastic netting. That plastic netting will never, ever, ever break down in your soil. So if you use those, just cut the netting off before you sow it out, before you plant it outside.
Okay.
What does he say? I know that the yellow peppers are always milder, but the yellow warthog is way, way milder than the usual. So it's a bizarre pepper. That's cool. I don't really like the yellow peppers very often. Every now and then I'll have a yellow pepper that I like, but like the KSLS, the Ahi Limon, I do like yellow scorpions. I do like yellow reapers. But I guess the lower heat ones that are below ghost, they always taste like soap to me.
One pepper that I experienced that with, which it's still at the time of me eating it, it was the hottest yellow pepper that I had. But the red version of it is just up until I had the warthog. I mean, it was either that, so it was the Hellhammer.
The Hellhammer?
So, yeah, the NK Hellhammer. The red, that was until I had the warthog. Like any given day, it could have been the Hellhammer, the Sinister Red, or the Chocolate Primatali. That was the hottest pepper I'd ever had. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So,
I still want to try the Hellhammer. I haven't got a chance to yet.
Yeah, I'm growing it. So I'll talk to Nick. I'm sure he won't mind if I send you a pod to try and stuff, but I just want to ask him first because he told me with the seeds and stuff, until he gets them, I think, fully stabilized, he doesn't want to send it out to anybody. But obviously, you always eat, like you said something in one of your videos the other day, if the grower or creator of the pepper doesn't want people growing it, like you just eat it or whatever. You know what I mean? So.
I only save them. I always make sure I ask people ahead of time if they're okay with me saving the seeds. If not, then I'll just eat it straight up. You know, I've got mad respect for y'all, so I'm not about to do nothing y'all don't say is cool.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll always ask, and if they don't want me to, I won't even cut it open. I'll just eat it.
Yeah.
So there was one pepper that I ate. Somebody told me to eat it whole. I'm not gonna mention what pepper it was, but after eating it, I kind of regretted at least not cutting it open and looking at it on the inside because I had some pods.
Was it rotten?
It wasn't rotten, but I had pods because they sent me a pretty big box of peppers and stuff. But I had like after like a week or so, like I had some peppers that didn't have holes in them to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they did. And I
So did it have the pepper weevil, the worm?
Yep.
Ooh.
Lovely.
So ever since then, I've always cut the peppers in half at least because I don't know if, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to say who it was and everything. I don't want to have anybody be mad at me or anybody to think less of the creator or the grower. I mean, they actually had a subcontractor growing their pepper and stuff too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it wasn't them that actually grew it and stuff. But
well, I'll let you know right up front, and obviously it's not me because I don't have a subcontractor. But
oh yeah, I know.
Hypothetically, if you ever want to talk about my peppers in any way, shape, or form, feel free.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't you, Dean.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm so much about the honesty and people understanding what our industry is about that hypothetically, if you get a rotten pod from me, Show it on video. Hypothetically, if you get a pepper weevil from in one of my pods, show it on video. That way, people can actually see what we actually experience.
Yeah. So this was actually came to me in a large flat rate, and I've only gotten one large flat rate of peppers. That is, of just solely peppers. It wasn't Matthew either. Matthew sent me peppers and mash in a large flat rate. It wasn't any of Matthew's peppers either. This was a few months ago at least. But
I don't care personally. I want the world to see what really happens, right? That's why I don't edit my videos, because I want the world to see what we truly experience. And pepper weevils are just a part of it. I mean, I've been growing super hots for 5 years, and I've only ever found 3 in 5 years.
Yeah.
But it still happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Now,
just don't
encountered yet.
Say that again, Heatseeker?
I said that's something I haven't encountered yet.
You will eventually, especially because you cut yours open. But like Sam said, if you don't cut it open and you eat it, you possibly won't know. It does give a little more of a umami flavor to the pod.
Oh God! So you ate it, but on accident before, Dean?
I actually think I had one during a competition because we're not supposed to open our peppers. You just eat them.
Oh God!
And I feel like I had one in a competition once.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
If I realized that, I'd be done.
Yeah. Honestly, it didn't affect me any. I think I had one just because it had a different, unique texture. It might not have been a weevil, but it's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I just would immediately puke.
Exactly. I think the thought of it would be what was getting me more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like, I'm already probably starting to get cap cramps already, if not full blown cap cramps, and I eat something that, you know what I mean? It's just not right. I would definitely end up getting sick.
Yeah, like Dizzy said, it doesn't speak bad about the grower. It's just part of the process. He also said he had a plant of purple chiltepins. He should have known because the plant was dropping pods randomly. Yes, that's the thing. If your pods are just falling off the plant, I almost guarantee you have pepper weevils.
Yeah. So this one is one that I'm really excited to grow because I want to cross it with a bunch of different things. Hold on, let me finish adding in the soil around the outside of it first. This is, I'll tell you what it is. It's a 7-pot bubblegum chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you about bubblegum peppers, right? Like,
what about them?
So at first, I didn't think that they were that hot because I think the first time that I ate one, the first one that I ate was like an anti-rogue. You know what I'm saying?
Like it was like what?
Like an anti-rogue, like a rogue, but in the
opposite way. Yeah.
So
nowhere near as hot.
Exactly. So, but that was just the first time. But you can see it has those cool dark leaves to it. I love the dark foliage.
Yeah, so do I. That's pretty. I like that seedling.
Thank you. I have another one too that has the same thing. But yeah, I think the first one that I had was like an anti-rogue because after I had ate it, when I ate the ones that were 7-pot bubblegums that you sent me, Dean, that first one, I ate it and I was like, or the ones that had bubblegum calyxes, I think the first one was that 7-pot purple yellow, 7-pot gum, yellow gum purple.
The purple yellow gum.
Yes. The first one I ate, I was like, oh, this is a yellow one. It should be the least hot. You know what I mean? And it's the bubblegum.
Yeah, right.
So I ate it and I was like, whoo! I was like, that one had some heat to it. You know what I mean? I was like, what the heck? And then there was the other one, the blood orange 7-pot
Blood orange, BBG purple, FP, which stands for Fadas peppers.
That was wicked hot too. I was like, oh my god, you know. And I saw John from Nobody's Special. I saw him. You sent him one of those too, and I would think he said that was hot too. So I was like, okay, I'm not crazy, you know.
Right. I got something to look forward to.
Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, those were and also I'll send you some peppers too, heat seeker. Once I start getting some positive, I got this indoor grow. I don't know if you ever saw it or anything like that, but
Show them your grow.
okay, hold on.
Take your phone over and show.
All right, give me 1 minute. Oh, I'm an old man. My knees.
Whatever. You are so not old.
No, but my knees. I have the knees of a 65-year-old man though.
Bro,
I'm the old one here.
When I was younger, you know, we talked about it before, growing up doing like martial arts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I did like submission grappling, stuff like that, wrestled in middle school, and I did Muay Thai in high school. I used to be able to like high kick pretty good, both, you know, my dominant side and like a switch kick from my front, or just a glancing like 45-degree high kick.
Right.
But my knees are so bad now, I'm like, well, I think I'd be impressed if I could just do like a 90-degree kick to the ribs, you know?
That's funny.
But hold on, let me see if I can reverse my camera. Hold on. Nope, hold on.
Yeah, let everybody see your grow, because you're not on YouTube. A lot of people don't get to see what you do.
Well, I need 50 subscribers before I can start doing lives.
How many? 50?
50. Yeah, I have like 32 right now. I'm going to start pushing my YouTube more on Facebook.
I don't even know what your YouTube channel name is. Is it just Pepper Poppy?
Pepper Poppy, and the is at Pepper Poppy 69.
I wonder why you put those numbers after your name.
Oh, that was YouTube generated. Okay, YouTube generated that one. I definitely
That's
wasn't
funny.
being a hip, funny guy whenever I did that.
Sure.
So here's 5. These 5, other than the middle one is a Leviathan Gnarly Scorpion chocolate. The other 4 are like a combination of Purple Death and a few other ones. I gotta wait till it grows the pepper for me to see. And then I have different methods and stuff that I've tried out. So here's a beast growing out of that one actually did start in Rockwool. I think Dizzy asked earlier. That one started in Rockwool, I believe, from seed and then grew. But the one here, actually, it ended up dying. But then another one was there growing. So and then I have chocolate habaneros. I have a bunch of different kinds. Here's my little seed starting tray.
Grief, man.
They're looking a lot better since you got rid of your whitefly problem.
Oh yeah, the one back there, that's a chocolate primatale. I'm hoping that one's okay, but I'm just gonna bug bomb it again just to make sure. I mean, they have been looking a lot better, but the ones that really took off, this one is a chocolate primatale that I started in like a real small pot, but then I up potted it to this, and I grew it outdoors until it got my F1, the F1 or F0 pod of the Purple Reaper into chocolate primatale.
Yeah.
And then I brought it inside. So if you look, it has pods on it, but they're end of the season pods. They don't look, but I swear it's the same plant, exact plant that that F0 pod that I showed you grew from. I mean, these are end of season pods, you know.
That's
so I'm
cool.
just, you know, they're real tiny and stuff like that. I'm hoping maybe they'll grow more. I don't know.
You know what? An end of the season pod's still going to give you fine seeds, though.
Oh yeah. So, and then I got Purple Gator Jigsaw. I think might be dying back there, but I got more seeds, so I'll just start another one. NK Sinister Red, Matthew Arthur Long Spiky Starscream, Warthogs.
Told you guys, he has a massive indoor grow.
Kevin Bain, Ragnarok and Fried Chicken, Apocalypse Scorpion, more Sinister Reds, Beast Peppers. This is a chocolate habanero here.
Man, I love
Have a good day, Dizzy. Enjoy your wings.
Umarock Chocolate, more Apocalypse Scorpion, Chocolate Reaper, and Andy's on Reaper and Beast. And then another long spiky Starscream from Matthew Arthur and his Purple Gator Warthog.
Nice.
Is that already popped?
Oh, yeah. This was one that just in the first batch of seeds that he sent me, he had just had them all kind of together. He didn't really.
Wow.
So like either that or it accidentally crossed or something. But yeah, that one, because I sent it to him. I'm like, oh, Matthew, I have one that, and it's interesting too because the long spiky Starscream, all those are dark foliage. I'll show you. Hold on. Except for one. One of them is green. So, but I need to up pot those. Those are definitely getting too big. You can start to see, you know. But I have.
That's some beautiful foliage, dude.
Oh yeah.
The stem's dark too?
Huh?
Is
Yep.
the stem dark too? It looks
Yep.
dark.
Yep. Stems are dark.
That's pretty.
And then I have the NK Sinister Red, Hellhammer, and the Juggernaut.
Nice. I'm really gonna have to get with Nick Kemp someday. I've never met the man.
He's an awesome dude, man. And he grows them screaming out pods. Like Dean, or not Dean, Nick rather. Like, man, like every pod that he sent me almost was just crazy hot. I'm like, bro, what the heck are you doing? There's a reason he calls it Hellgarden. Because I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy. I mean, he had ones in there that weren't like super hot, but every pepper that he had sent me probably was. I mean, you could state it better, obviously, Dean, but I would say everyone he sent me probably was at least 500,000 Scoville.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Other than, I think maybe there was a couple, like he had like, I think Bacano peppers or something like that.
Yeah, bikinos.
Yeah, those, and then his porch
They kind
monster.
of shape like teardrops.
Yeah, and then he sent me some DK porch monsters, which he named.
Porch monster.
Yeah, well, because it was an accidental cross that he was just growing on his porch.
That's funny.
And he had planted seeds from, I think, from the Bacanos. And I think he said it crossed with something else. They don't know what it crossed with. It was an unknown variant. But so he let his grandson, which is where the DK instead of NK comes from, name
That's
it, and
funny.
he called it the porch monster. So
that's cool. All right, so now out of 3 cups, I now have 21 plants. This is the only time in the entire life of the plant that it will ever be top watered. And all I'm doing is I'm taking the spout of the squeeze bottle and I'm just watering it in around the stem. I'm not wetting the entirety of the soil. I'm just wetting it around the stem. And then from this day forward, they will only be bottom watered.
let me go ahead and get out of the water bottle I use.
Hey, Dean.
Yeah, what's up?
Can I ask a quick favor, brother?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, do you mind giving my contact information to Pepper Poppy over here?
I will do that. Your phone number as well?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I will do that.
Thank you.
Just so you know, I work weird schedules, so if I don't get right back to you, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But
Okay, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I work mornings myself, so, but usually really early in the morning.
Yeah, I'm usually at night.
Yeah, I worked nights for like 2 years, and then like mid shift for about a year and a half, and then morning shift at my old job for like about a year. So
yeah, I've been doing this job for 11 years on night shift. So.
Oh man,
it works for me though. I like it. So
yeah, I was working at Amazon. Something that I use too. Here's the thing. that I do is Dean had a little squirt bottle. I have a little squirt bottle, but something a little bit different.
Yeah. Poke the holes in the cap.
Yep. And then I just look,
I used to do that too.
and I just look, and that's how I do it, like that, you know. So then
It's cheaper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, versus just throwing them away.
Yep. No, I agree. I turn them into hydroponic containers. I grow hydroponically in them.
Yeah, I tried that, but I didn't have that great of success from it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of sucked at first when I was growing, which is why I had so many different so many different seeds and stuff, you know, because I'm like, on top of the fact, obviously, that I want to grow all these different peppers and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't know really like I had heard people using germination mats and stuff, but I was like, oh, it's okay. I shouldn't need that. I definitely needed it, you know?
Yeah. So I think, well, we all go through that when we're new at growing, right? We have to learn, and we have to learn the hard way. But what I do with the 20-ounce water bottle hydroponic, the pseudo crack key, is I only use that to get seeds. I don't expect much out of it. I want 1 or 2 pods from 3 or 4-year-old seeds to give me new seeds for a new generation. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
And lately I've decided to show them on YouTube, but what were you saying, he's here?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I didn't say nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard your voice. Must have been Sam.
I was thinking about using my Aero Garden to try to stabilize stuff quicker.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It works.
Yeah. So, like, I could do that with some of the evil avocado seeds if you want. You know what I mean? To try to get it stabilized sooner. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Versus having to like do it just every summer or whatever.
Yep. As long as we're getting the correct phenotype, I don't care if we can get 3 generations in 1 year. Then people get the seeds sooner, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, I'm giving them away anyway. I'm not selling them.
Yeah. So like So right now it's on F4, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
in like a year and a half, we could have them fully stabilized.
Yep.
Well, not F12, but F8 at least.
F8, yeah.
So
stable enough. F8 stable enough.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep. And then if you send me a picture of the basilisk and
I will.
Then I'll try to keep those separate for the pods and stuff. You know, since they're coming from the same seeds anyways.
I can also send you seeds specifically for the golden torpedo and the basilisk as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Because I'll be sending you my my seed collection, so you can go through it and decide what you want anyway. And then that offer is also open to you, Kenny. Sorry, I just said your name. I didn't mean to.
Bro.
You can also have my seed list if you want it, and you can just pick whatever you want out of it.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you. Oh, also, Heat Seeker, whenever, I don't know if you heard earlier, I mentioned I crossed pollen from a Purple Reaper into a chocolate primatale as well.
Ooh.
So once I start getting F1 pods and stuff, I was going to share them with a couple different people. If you want to try it, and then you can grow it as well, you know, and I'll just, like Dean was saying, I'll send you a picture of what I want for the phenotype, you know what I mean? And then, you know.
Well, I'll tell you right now, as far as growing goes, this was the first time I've ever grown peppers like this year.
Oh.
I only had like 9 plants, so I'm not a big grower or anything like that. I'm just learning. So I'll be glad to grow something or try to, but don't expect a whole lot from me on that part of it.
That's all
we
right.
all went through that year. It's okay.
Even if you just, yeah, exactly what Dean said. We all went through that year. This is still the first year that I started growing. It's just I have a tendency of, like, when I really enjoy doing something, I kind of overdo it, you know?
And do it full bore, right?
Yeah, like I'm constantly like even more than like Call of Duty, I'm like looking at stuff about like peppers, where there's people eating peppers, or like how to grow peppers better, or like how to like cross them or germinate them or whatever better. You know what I mean? Like I have a Spider Farmer SF4000, which is like a $400 light, you know? So, but because I am, I'm essentially a gypsy. Okay. I go on the internet part of, or the gypsy land of the internet, which is Facebook Marketplace. So, and I go, hey, I see you have that Spider Farmer SF4000, normally like a close to $400 light, or about. You had it at 275. You marked it down to 200. I'll give you 150 for it today. And then they go, yeah, sure. And then I go and drive 40 minutes each way to go and get it, and I come back with it. You know,
That's pretty awesome.
oh yeah. And the place I went to get it was out in the middle of nowhere. Like he could have, yeah, it could have been a hills have eyes situation, you know, because we're in Indiana. And but you know, like it was okay, you know. So he was older. I could have took him. You know what I mean?
You can always call JoJo and have JoJo drive north to come save you.
Yeah. I'll be like, JoJo. I just text him ahead of time. This is the address. If I don't
Welcome
text you
back,
back
Mark.
within a couple of hours. Yeah, exactly.
So we're actually done with the entirety of the video, and my phone's down to 10%.
Okay.
So thank you guys for coming on. Thank you. It's been a really long video. We've been talking for 2 hours now. So
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for coming on and chatting too. It makes the tutorial video more fun, I think.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep quiet too, though, because I didn't want to interrupt with what you're like teaching us about and everything, you know. So
It's all good. As long as the information got out there, that's all I care about.
awesome. Well, sweet. Thank you. And it was good meeting you finally, Heat Seeker, as well, you know.
Yeah, for real. And
Yeah,
thank you for having me on, brother.
You guys have a beautiful night.
You too. I love you guys. Have a good one.
Back at you, bro.
Thank you. God bless.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for coming on.